going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the New Era Prep Show here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. I'm your host, Christian Proscia, and we've got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Thanksgiving week has gone. It has flown by. I hope everybody once again enjoyed turkey, spending time with your relatives, especially the drunk uncles. We know everybody's got at least one of them. Shabuzi Thanksgiving, halftime shows, you name it. There was a bunch of festivities on Thanksgiving itself. One of those being the Dolphins being a terrible team when it comes to playing in cold weather. Taking things over to Black Friday, however, we didn't just have a couple NFL games. We didn't just have a couple NBA games, a couple college basketball games, even a conference or games that decide conference championships in college football. We had some high school football, and that's what we're here to talk about. I know y'all saw part of the headline. We are going to talk about that in the next coming moments when things officially get released. I'm not Woj bombing. I'm not JJ bombing. We are going to wait for our good friends in FAU Athletics to release a statement. If they don't, towards the 30-minute mark, that's kind of what I was planning to talk about. At the 30-minute mark, bottom of the hour, we'll Woj bomb it a little. I'm sorry. It's a safe space here, guys. Hope I don't get yelled at, if anything. Any which way, FAU t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen, we got it on, and I'm more than happy. I'm more than excited. So let's talk about some things. First games, as always, y'all know the deal. We're going to talk Palm Beach ball first. Then we're going to go to Broward. Things got really easy over the past couple of weeks because as the postseason continues, teams come and they go. Unfortunately, not everybody can make it to the state Final Four. We got 8 classes, and let's talk about them, ladies and gentlemen. First off, we're going to talk Vero Beach versus Dr. Phillips. Supposedly a very good game out in the Orlando area. Dr. Phillips hosting Vero, defeating the Fighting Indians 21-14. Cardinal Newman taking on First Baptist Academy, defeating them 27-9 in a very, very dominant affair for the Crusaders. All in all, absolute banger. Cardinal Newman is advancing to the state Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. All right, things just got posted, so I have to post articles really quick. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, y'all know that's the life of the reporter. I got to just get things up and on social media. But it's official. FAU to hire Texas Tech offensive coordinator Zach Kittley as the Owls' new head coach following the departure of Tom Herman from the program 2 weeks ago. We're going to talk about that in a minute because there is direct tie-ins with our local high schools. We also got Wiregrass Ranch taking on West Boca. West Boca defeating Wiregrass 17-0. A very tame afternoon for the Bulls offense. I know only 17 points. I see the viewer count. Y'all are waiting for us to talk some FAU football. I'm beating Robbie to this for once. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, but West Boca defeating Wiregrass Ranch 17-0. Mark Hannaford touchdown, and I believe a Jaden Lockhart touchdown and a field goal. That's what we had for us. Final Palm Beach-based game that I want to talk about. Oh, good Lord, what a game. Atlantic High taking on St. Thomas Aquinas. This is a game a lot of people were very high on, myself included. I thought going into this game, this is going to be an absolute banger of a game. Atlantic, in the first 7 minutes of game time, takes a 20-0 lead over Aquinas, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, St. Thomas Aquinas, number 7 program in the state last week, inside the top 100, obviously, in the national rankings per Max Reps Atlantic, 35 in the state, not in the top 100. So, Atlantic takes a 20-0 lead very early into this game. The Eagles get the ball first. They drive, have a very beautiful drive that gets capped off with a Philly special type play. DeAndre Desner to Teddy Hoffman. We're going to be hearing that name a bunch tonight, so stay tuned because we're going to be talking about touchdown Teddy a lot. DeAndre Desner, 2. Teddy Hoffman, 4. A little bit of a Philly special type play. Atlantic takes a lead. After a very, very quick 4 and out for St. Thomas, Atlantic is back right outside the red zone. And they bust out another trick play as on a little bit of a flea flicker, Teddy throws a beautiful ball to James Jones. Back corner end zone right in front of me. Absolute, what a throw, Teddy. First off, very nice throw for you, my friend. Finally, about 5 minutes left or so in the first quarter, Atlantic gets back on offense. Lincoln Graff finally gets his first passing touchdown of the game. Two drives have already came and gone. Lincoln hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet. But then that all changes as he hits Teddy in stride for a 65-yard touchdown score. Delray Beach is rocking, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. People are still pouring in to the facility at this point. What a day. Like, Atlantic, it was deep. It was very deep inside Delray Beach. The whole facility of Atlantic High, it was bumping. It was a block party, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we can describe the environment of that game. Finally, as the second quarter starts to come around, St. Thomas gets their feet going for them. Thank God, because I thought St. Thomas was going out sorry. I'm going to be so honest. I was not expecting a 20-0 lead right out the gate, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just pulling up stats right now really quick. I'm just pulling up the scoring log. There we go. Yep, Teddy Hoffman, bomb. Then we got end of the first, Atlantic leads St. Thomas 20-0. But then, like I said, St. Thomas starts driving, and Cedric Weishi, running back, dude, he was all over the place. He is a powerful runner, and he was just powering his way through Atlantic's defense throughout the night. Then we got so he ends up diving into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown to finally get St. Thomas on the board. 11 minutes left in the first half. Then Atlantic responds again with Teddy Hoffman's 4th touchdown of the night to bring things to 28-7 after a 2-point conversion from Lincoln Graff to Legend Pelican. Right before half, less than 15 seconds remaining in the half, Andrew Indorf fights his way into the end zone for a 7-yard touchdown, bringing the score 28-14 going into halftime. Immediately, St. Thomas strikes right back. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Andrew Indorf once again hits Amari Stevens for a 32-yard touchdown pass. Stevens just bobbed and weaved his way right through the Atlantic defense, getting things going for the Raiders. Now it's 28-21. There is a lot of pressure on the line because it's, oh no, St. Thomas is coming back. Atlantic marches down once again. I'm going to use that a lot because these were just long, methodical drives. March down again. Lincoln Graff hits James Majay Jones again for a 6-yard, beautiful jump ball touchdown. 35-21 Atlantic. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. That would go to the end of the third quarter. But once again, 9 minutes left in the ball game. Weichi fights again, pounding the rock in for another STA touchdown. Literally dragged 3 dudes into the end zone. What an impressive runner Cedric Weishi is. I just want to keep talking about that kid because he is a good runner. Just under a minute left. St. Thomas scores once again, tying things 35-all. Indorf hits Amari Stevens for another touchdown. We're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen, 35-35. Atlantic gets the ball first in overtime. Touchdown, Teddy Hoffman. 5th touchdown of the night. Jump ball, left corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Teddy's. once again, 5 touchdowns, 4 Teddy touchdowns. Atlantic is leading. 2-point try is good, conversion is good, but St. Thomas gets back in the end zone as Indorf hits Weishi for his 3rd touchdown of the night on a reception this time. And then we're going to 2 overtimes now. We're in college rules. St. Thomas gets the ball because now they start with the ball. Weishi punches in his 4th score of the day, taking a lead over Atlantic. And then St. Thomas's defense comes out, immediate pressure into the backfield, forcing a fumble. St. Thomas secures it. Final score 49-42. St. Thomas defeats Atlantic in double overtime. Once again, Cedric Weishi, 150 all-purpose yards on the day, 4 total touchdowns. What a performance from Cedric. But the main star of the show, like we were talking about, is Teddy Hoffman. 12 catches, 350 yards on the day, and 5 total touchdowns. FAU is getting such a special player with Teddy Hoffman, man. Teddy is an absolute dog. And his performance on Friday cemented him into, in my opinion, Palm Beach legend status, because that was not a game that Atlantic should have gone to double overtime in. That is not a game on paper that anybody thought Atlantic would be going into overtime with, especially in the national media. So seeing Teddy come out when the lights were the brightest and just do his thing, that was special for me to see. I've known Teddy for 4 years now. Being able to see him grow from being a little freshman at Boca High, 2 years at St. Andrews, and then finally this senior season capping it off the way that he did at Atlantic on Friday night. Once again, Teddy Hoffman is an absolutely special player. Lincoln Graff, another guy. I've seen him come through this program all 4 years. What a kid. What an absolute baller. Lincoln Graff is a stand-up kid. We've had him on the show a couple times. Lincoln is an absolute dog. He had an incredible senior season, over 4,000 all-purpose yards, 50 total touchdowns on the year. Lincoln had himself one hell of a senior season. And he may be going down right now as one of Palm Beach's most underrated recruits in the area. Division I coaches need to seriously start bringing their way up from not just Broward and Dade, because yes, Broward and Dade counties are absolutely electric football every Friday night, but we have just as equal of talent on the field in Palm Beach, and Friday showed it. Atlantic showed that Palm Beach could hang with any team in Broward and Dade, taking on the number 2 team in Broward, and almost coming away with the win. West Boca shows that they can compete with any team in Broward and Dade. Cardinal Newman shows that they can compete with any team in Broward or Dade. I'm going to keep saying it. We have elite programs led by elite coaches, and we play elite players on a weekly basis. Coaches and national media across the country need to look at our guys just as heavily as they do the Broward and Dade guys, because it is an absolute disservice to your program for not offering Palm Beach stars, for not going out and scouting and looking for the diamonds in the rough and trying to find those gems. Don't wait for other coaches to offer talent. Be the guy to find the talent. Be the guy that can bring your program's game changer in. Don't see what the school up the road is going to do. That's something that is a complete disservice in college football recruiting nowadays. Is coaches wait for other coaches to offer players to see if they think a player is legit. And I stand by that statement because it has been told to me numerous times. This kid doesn't have any offers. This kid doesn't have a certain offer. If he had a higher major offer, maybe we would offer him. No. Be the ballsy guy. Be the guy to take a chance on a player. I am an FAU guy. I'm an FAU student. I'm going to be an FAU alum in 2 years. Pending graduation, because that would be usually nice. Teddy Hoffman is the biggest steal in South Florida. The fact that he does not have a high major offer up until a week and a half ago is a complete disservice, and it proves it in college football recruiting on how coaches do not seriously scout talent. There are so many players going through or under the radar and that are going to end up at either smaller mid majors, D2s, JUCOs, NAIA, you name it. I can count numerous names of guys that should be playing Division One FBS football that had to go down to in my opinion, a school that they should not be at on a talent standpoint, and they're still awaiting a chance because coaches don't like to play underclassmen because they don't want the underclassmen to go and transfer. So that's my little rant on that. We're going to take things to Broward and Dade, where Western defeated Columbus, Columbus defeated Western. Sorry, dyslexia once again. 27-25. Absolute great game. I was there for the first half. Had to leave to go to Atlantic. I'm very upset that I had to leave that game. Very good game. Very good game. I believe it was 14-10 at halftime. It was a solid game. Columbus ended up defeating Western on a late game field goal, taking things to our final of 27-25. Peep the 305 Sports Instagram. They said it best, a lot of blur balls. A lot of jump balls, a lot of crazy touchdowns in this game. Booker T defeating Immaculata LaSalle 41-6. Chaminade Madonna doing what they do best, defeating Miami Edison 49-6. Miami Southridge defeating West Broward 51-21. Miami Northwestern defeating Cypress Lake 48-0. And then finally, Heritage Plantation defeating Miami Norland 35-14 in a game that I did not think was going to go the way it did. Please tell me how Malachi Toney is somehow a top 5 quarterback in South Florida, apparently. Malachi Toney, coming in for an injured Diabell, single-handedly carried Heritage's offense. Mally looks, but also you got to remember, Malachi Toney has been playing quarterback literally up until he got to Heritage. He played it during youth football into middle school. But then when he got to Heritage, he made the switch to receiver. I think it's working out for him, being committed to Miami and all, about to sign with Miami. So Malachi Toney comes in and I believe throws 3 touchdown passes, rushes for another one, and then Byron Lewis rushes for one to bring things to our 35-14 score. Once again, Malachi Toney was throwing some dots, ladies and gentlemen. Do not sleep on the sheer athleticism that Malachi Toney possesses, because that was impressive. I was breaking down the highlights from that game, and wow. Once again, Malachi Toney is an absolute dog. Heritage is moving on to the state Final Four alongside Booker T, Miami Columbus, Chaminade, Miami Southridge, Miami Northwestern, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Cardinal Newman and West Boca. Those are all the South Florida teams that are going to be present in the state Final Four. One last headline I do want to bring up in the high school scene is congratulations to Miami Norland quarterback EJ Yapor for breaking the state of Florida. EJ Yapor breaks the state of Florida's Miami Norland quarterback EJ Yapor breaks the state of Florida's career passing yards record, breaking a record that I believe is over 20 years old, well over 14,000 career yards in their loss to Heritage Plantation on Friday. Just wanted to shout out EJ a little bit. I'm very happy that he was able to click that one off. He played an incredible game as well. Once again, congrats, EJ, on an incredible career. It feels like you've been around forever, dude. Being able to see him grow up through the program was awesome as well. Unfortunately, Norland did fall short of their goal of winning a state championship with EJ, but it's on to bigger and better for him wherever life takes him, whether it's in the college football scene, don't really know what his recruiting process is like at this moment, or whether it's in the real world. End of the day, quarterback EJ Yapor is statistically the greatest quarterback to come through the state of Florida. And we've had some guys like Tim Tebow and Lamar Jackson come through this state. So that is more than impressive. So once again, just wanted to give a big shout out to EJ. Before we take a break, I do want to talk about National Signing Day a little. We're going to have National Signing Day festivities throughout the entirety of the week, starting Wednesday morning. Here is the slate for Palm Beach County and what we can expect from National Signing Day. So first off, we're going to start with Wednesday morning. The slate starts with West Boca having a signing at 9 a.m. as Damon Allen is signing his letter of intent to FAU. Seminole Ridge is signing at 9 a.m. as well. Ty Jackson, Daniel Pierre-Louis signing to the University of Florida. Atlantic is having their signing ceremony at 9:30 a.m. They're having numerous signees across their football program. Taking things over to Santa Lucia's 10 a.m. Jamar Browder is signing to the University of Michigan. Palm Beach Central at 2 p.m. Kamari Williams is signing to Arkansas University, and Nedrick Bolden is signing to Boston College. 4 o'clock p.m., Waden Charles is signing at Somerset Canyons to UCF. Cardinal Newman, I do not have a timestamp. I believe it'll be in around the 3-4-ish. They will have Max Redmond signing to Florida State. I believe there may be another signee as well. Dylan Franchetti is signing to FIU. That's what I'm looking for. And then Friday, Benjamin will be signing early in the morning at a school-wide pep rally. Lana Rapkowitz signing to FAU. Jaden Vega, Dylan Fershman signing to Brown University. Preston Douglas signing to NC State. And then I believe Atlantic is holding another signing ceremony or something like that for Teddy Hoffman and DeAndre Desner. I'm very interested to see what's the move with DeAndre Desner over the next couple of hours, ladies and gentlemen. DeAndre coming in to signing week is a verbal commit to West Virginia University. The Mountaineers just fired their head coach, I believe, Sunday morning. So West Virginia has a coaching vacancy. They are well behind the 8 ball as far as recruiting. Obviously, we saw with FAU everybody's stance on what's going on. People were uneasy about, should I sign to a program with no coach and stuff like that. So we may be seeing some Merry Flipmas festivities going on with DeAndre, having over 40 offers. Basically, close your eyes, think of a program. DeAndre Desner has an offer from them. So stay tuned with that. Another situation to monitor is with the UCF recruiting class. UCF with a very solid recruiting class, including 2 of Palm Beach's guys, or South Florida's guys, Waden Charles from Somerset, Tony Williams from Miami Central. Both of them verbal commits to UCF with Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn stepping down yesterday afternoon to serve as Florida State's offensive coordinator. My phone is blowing up. This is really annoying. But Coach Malzahn stepping down from the head coaching role at UCF to take on the offensive coordinator, play calling roles at FSU. So same thing with West Virginia's recruiting class. Let's keep an eye on the UCF class. I'm hoping to see what's about to happen. Taking things up to Vero Beach. I'm going to keep talking about this because I strongly believe Miami is going to be able to flip linebacker TJ Alford from the loser of the big game, Ohio State University. Once again, TJ Alford been committed to Ohio State since the middle of the summer. He's a guy who's been an absolute game wrecker. I've talked about him a couple times. Best analysis I can give, honest analysis, is this kid is an NFL player playing high school football right now. That's what your program is getting out of TJ Alford. Whether he signs with Miami, Florida State, Ohio State, you name it. Once again, if you think of a school, he's got an offer from them. So TJ Alford is another guy to monitor really as far as things go with National Signing Day. I could see a flip, ladies and gentlemen. We will have somebody at Vero Beach because I do believe that we could seriously see a flip. Miami has been heavily pursuing him over the past couple weeks. Coaches have been tweeting out, fans have been tweeting out, TJ, come home, stay home, play at Miami, play 2 hours away from Vero. Players have been reaching out and tweeting at him. Wesley Bissaint being one of them. I've seen a lot of things on my timeline. TJ Alford to the U. TJ, I know you watch my show, especially when Mike comes on, but I'm going to say it even if you're watching, if you're not. Stay home. Love who loves you, bro. Yes, Ohio. Yes, you are committed to Ohio State, but I have not seen this level of a recruiting push in a very long time for a player, especially for a guy coming to Miami. But with that being said, Miami is dropping in the recruiting class rankings as earlier this morning, the Canes, or one of the Canes' top one of the oh my goodness, I cannot talk today. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up just to be sure I say everything right. 3, 2, 1, there we go. 4-star safety Hilton Stubbs has flipped his commitment from Miami to the University of Florida, ladies and gentlemen. That ad for Florida gets them inside the 247 composite top 10 recruiting classes, sitting at number 10. But it also drops Miami to 13. I don't know what Sunbelt Billy and the Florida Gators have been doing in their recruiting pools. Over the past 2 weeks, UF has been absolutely killing it on the recruiting scene. So that's nice to see as somebody that supports all things Florida football, the state of Florida football. But as a Miami guy, that's not fun to see. Losing out on one of our top recruits is huge. Hilton, go be great wherever life takes you. You can always transfer back when we once again shellac you guys next year. But that's big high school football updates and recruiting updates that I wanted to talk about. We're going to take things to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are going to talk about that big hire by the FAU Owls. We will be right back. Stay tuned. Get some popcorn. Go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. We'll be on a break for a couple minutes. You have time. 3, 2, 1, go get popcorn. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the New Era Prep Show. I'm your host, Christian Proscia, and breaking news announced moments ago, and by moments ago, I mean 20 minutes ago. FAU announces their intention to hire Texas Tech offensive coordinator Zach Kittley as the program's new head coach. What do we need to know about Coach Kittley? This dude is a dog, ladies and gentlemen. I am really excited about this hire. I am very excited about this offer. Every Everywhere this coach has gone, he has won. His offense has succeeded. His offense is consistently a top passing offense in the country. Having multiple stops at high major schools like Texas Tech, 2 stints there, also having experience Western Kentucky. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But starting out as a GA at Texas Tech, I don't know if anybody knows any notable alumni that have come through the Texas Tech program over the past couple years, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But if you didn't notice already, Coach Kittley worked very closely with the development of one Patrick Mahomes, who I think everybody knows this dude might be good at football. While Coach Kittley was at Texas Tech, so was Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, one of the top quarterbacks in the 2017 draft, goes on top 10 pick to the Chiefs. Two league MVPs later, 3 Super Bowl rings later, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, multiple All Pros later. I think it's safe to say once again that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football currently and is on pace to be a top fiver all time. Argue with your grandpas who are going to say Joe Montana's better. No, I don't see anybody doing what Mahomes is doing on a weekly basis. Say what you want about the Chiefs and their questionable resume this year. Nobody can deny Patrick Mahomes is a dog. So 2017, 2018 season, Coach Kittley moves on to Houston Baptist, where for 2 years he turned a program in the FCS, which was a historically bad passing offense before he got there. He turned it into one of the top air raid offenses in FCS football. During the end of his tenure at HBU, not HBCU, it's HBU, Houston Baptist University. My dyslexic brain keeps messing it up. Deal with it. Coach Kittley helped develop Bailey Zappi, keep an eye on that name, into one of the premier quarterbacks in FCS football before taking his talents to Western Kentucky to become the Hilltoppers offensive coordinator. One season with Western Kentucky, he brings his Louis V luggage with him. Bailey Zappi comes into Western Kentucky. Kittley and Bailey Zappi, I think they did all right that year, totaling just under 6,000 yards of passing offense and 62 passing touchdowns that year. Led the country in both. Bailey Zappi goes on, one of the more criminally underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, especially in that draft class. Zappi goes on to the Patriots. I do not remember where he's at now. I believe he's still with the Patriots. But Bailey Zappi, absolute dog coming out of college. He was a guy I was really high on. I believe he just missed a Joe Burrow record. Or he beat Joe Burrow's passing touchdowns record. That's the one where it was like, I remember I was bowling, and I can't bowl for anything, ladies and gentlemen. Right as we're bowling, every TV's got a Western Kentucky football game on because is this dude going to break a Joe Burrow record that was just set? But finally, after the 2021 season, Kittley returned back to Texas Tech, where he served as the offensive coordinator up until yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Over this past regular season, Texas Tech's offense was one of the more diverse offenses in college football, putting up numbers comparable to Miami, especially when it comes to the ground game. A lot of times, the Kittley offense It is pass, 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 air raid, air raid, air raid, air that ball out. And I love that. That is my style of football, ladies and gentlemen. I am from South Florida. Drew, I know you're watching this and you are screaming blur at your TV right now. But yes, that is my style of football. I love a great passing offense. I do not like watching a subpar passing offense. So being able to see what this dude's going to come in and do is going to be nice. This past regular season that ended this weekend, quarterback Baron Morton for Texas Tech recorded just over 3,300 yards and 27 touchdowns, ninth in FBS football for both categories. But their rushing attack was just as good, as Taj Brooks recorded just over 1,500 yards, 1,505 yards, fifth in college football, and 17 touchdowns, ninth in college football. So it appears that he's adapting the offense into obviously playing into your offense's strengths. Taj Brooks being, if not a top 3 back, definitely a top 5 back in college football. Argue with your mama. Ashton Genty is the clear-cut RB1, but then honestly, I would have Brooks as number 2. But yeah, Brooks had an electric season. He's going to go on and do great things at the NFL level. So it appears that his offense is adapting into the more of a spread out offense, which allows for more big play potential. If you're game planning against an offense that is just going to air the ball out every game, you want to run a more DB heavy set, maybe have more athletic linebackers, have a nickel corner out, being able to have more speed on the field as opposed to maybe a 3-4 set, if that makes sense for all the nerds. So with that being said, having just as lethal of a rushing attack, that makes you have to rein it back a little and not commit to just one. It makes your offense deeper. It makes your playbook deeper. So when you have a more diverse spread of offensive potential, and that's something that I like with what he's bringing in. With that being said, Coach Kitley, 33 years old. This is his first head coaching gig. He is providing a once again, 33 years old. He is now the youngest quarterback he used to be a quarterback, youngest head coach in program history. He's providing a younger offensive modern mind that he isn't the one adapting to the new age of football with the RPOs and the screens and the motions. He's the one starting those trends. He's the one bringing those crazy formations that we see every Saturday and every Sunday, because guess what? The NFL teams are doing it too. He's bringing those to life. He's one of the pioneers on a modern age of college football. That's what FAU is getting out of him. As previously stated, common theme for Kitley-led offenses: lots of yards, lots of scoring, lots of points, lots of touchdown celebrations, a lot of blur. Last season, Texas Tech averaged 459 yards per game and 40 points per game. Taking things to FAU, this was not a good football season for FAU. Less than ideal year. 397 yards per game and 25.9 points per game. That stat definitely got boosted after Saturday. After Saturday's shellacking of Tulsa, where we dropped a 60 burger on them, all of those averages completely just got boosted. Like that game was an outlier. So FAU does have the potential to have that big play offense, like I said. But for the other 11 games of the year, FAU wasn't good football to watch. I'm sorry. There is no ifs, ands, or buts around it. It was not good football to watch. It was a frustrating year for FAU. Because if y'all remember, I was out here going, FAU is going to go 9-3 or whatever I was saying. I look like an idiot. But that's honestly down to the poor coaching during the Herman administration. So I'm very happy with this hire. I did not want another, because we had a stretch of 3, P4 retread. I wanted a guy that was going to come in and bring a younger set to this program, a younger face, a younger voice, because he is the future generation of college football. He's going to be a great head coach at FAU. And then when he's able to keep elevating, and that's something that he has done well. He from grad assistant to Texas Tech, taking an offensive coordinator job to Houston Baptist, going from FCS offensive coordinator to Conference USA Western Kentucky offensive coordinator, and then going from Conference USA to the Big 12, and then stepping down from the Big 12 into the American, but it's now as a head coaching role. It is constant progression, and that is the work, and he's working his way up. He's a young, energetic, fired up dude. He's going to be ready to take the bull by the horns the same way that John Jacobs was when he came into FAU for basketball, the same way Dusty May came into FAU for basketball. I'm very excited about this hire. Biggest reassurance for me is having a head coach for National Signing Day for FAU. We have a top 70 recruiting class, being the number 69, nice recruiting class in the country. All four of our four highest graded recruits are all receivers for this class. Teddy Hoffman, Cameron Sapp, Jade Card, Michael Max. All four of them are wide receivers that are going to succeed in this offense. Bringing in other stars coming in on this offense, having Brandon Hoke as another receiver, Jordan Magwood at quarterback. He's been able to develop talent well, and I truly do believe that. And I think that FAU is going to capitalize off of the numerous relationships that he has throughout college football, and being able to bring in maybe some of his guys from Texas Tech. Former five-star true freshman Micah Hudson hit the portal, wide receiver. He's a guy that would be honestly a must get for FAU. It's a long shot, but I could see that working. He would come in and immediately make an impact. Do I think that Micah commits to FAU? Probably not. He's going to get a bag somewhere else. Once again, former five-star recruit. He's going to have a very large spread of suitors waiting to park Brinks trucks in front of his place. Another guy I realistically do think that FAU can get is his former backup quarterback, Will Hammond. Former four-star quarterback, was a top 50 recruit in the state of Texas in the class of 24, top 15 QB prospect in his class, was sitting behind excuse me. There we go. Oh my goodness. I can't read today, guys. Was sitting behind Morton, was learning, was developing, and was developing in the Kitley offense. All of these head coaches, when they come into new programs, they bring their guys with him. Lincoln Riley goes to USC. Caleb Williams goes over. Less favorable of an example, Tom Herman goes to FAU. Casey Thompson, who he had at Texas, comes in as well. Bring your guys that you know can run your system from the get-go, especially with a program that is rebuilding and is looking to reimagine their image. I do believe that FAU has the potential to be one of the G5 contenders for the G5 bid every single year. We have the resources. I said it on Robbie's show the other day. We have the resources. We have a ballsy athletic director. This was a great hire by Brian White. I am saluting you, my friend. What a good hire. I am very high on this hiring. We have the constant push for excellence across our athletic department. Went on a little bit of a spiel about it on Robbie's LaStella report on Tuesday night. Not going to go too in-depth on it again. But FAU, the same way that Kintley is trying to build and build and build, that is what FAU as an athletic department is going to do. So with that being said, this becomes an even more favorable destination for recruits. We have the NIL, we have the facilities, we have who I believe is going to be a damn good coach, and we have the location. I'm sorry, I would rather live in Boca Raton, Florida than the overwhelming majority of cities on this country. And if you don't, I don't understand why. Living 2 miles from a beach, being in a hotbed of sports, when South Florida sports do well, the community rallies behind them. Being able to have some of the best around you. There is a major sport for every single sport within 25 minutes driving distance from FAU. People come to FAU. So that, and soon I believe FAU is going to be one of those contenders, the way that they honestly were when Lane Kiffin was the head coach. And same thing, Lane was a younger coach back then. He was fired up. He was ready to go. He was ready to make his break. And that's what I think Coach Kitley is going to do for this program. I am more than excited. Right now, what I'm hearing is his introductory press conference will be either Thursday or Friday. So I'm very excited for that. I will be there. I will be covering that. Me and Robbie, I'm sure, will be out there. Stay tuned for coverage of that. Once again, I am more than excited going into this year, and so are our recruits, especially a couple of them that I've been really close with. Been talking in their ear, especially on the offensive side of the ball. This is a very, very intriguing hire with a lot of history behind it, as far as this has potential to be something great. And if it's working at the high major level, just imagine that. Just imagine that air raid offense going up against UAB. Imagine that air raid offense going against Rice, going against East Carolina, hell, going against Tulane, Memphis. I know Army, Navy, they had one incredible seasons this year. I don't think that they could match an offensive firepower on a football field. They definitely could in the trenches, not overseas. I'm sure I would love to have every Army football player in a foxhole with me. But as far as a shootout on a football field, the best way for Army to win that game is keep that offense off the field. And that's the honest truth. It is high powered football. And that is something that I think is going to be really good for FAU. He is a player's coach. I have multiple connects with Texas Tech athletics, especially their football program, throughout Twitter, reporters, and then with people that have come through the program. Nothing but positive things have come through my phone over the past 6 hours. So I am very excited about this move. I think this is a step in the right direction for FAU football that they have not had since Lane Kiffin left. That is the honest truth. Coach Kitley, welcome to paradise, my friend. I am excited to be covering your team. I am excited. I am fired up. I am ready to go. And I know that you are going to produce absolute dogs of wide receivers. And guess what? You got 4 of them getting dropped on your doorstep. There's 4 of them being dropped on our doorstep by the end of this week. And your biggest X factor is Teddy Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine, see what Teddy Hoffman did against St. Thomas Aquinas, and the way that he was just always open, always scoring. And now imagine him in an offensive scheme that has already had 6,000 total yards in a year, 60 plus touchdowns in a year. That's something that I'm fired up about for our younger guys, especially the ones that I've seen come through our programs, is to see them succeed in a high-powered offense. This is a very good hire, and I am more than excited for it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I've got dinner waiting for me. I'm absolutely starving. I'm ending the episode a couple minutes early. I wish everybody to have a great rest of your night. I do not know. I am not doing a hurricane watch tomorrow. I know that for a fact. I will be at Miami versus Arkansas tomorrow night at the Wasco Center. Stay tuned for coverage of that game. That's going to be one hell of a game. And then I don't know what I'm going to be doing as far as New Era Prep Show, because I will be really preoccupied with National Signing Day festivities. May pre-record it tomorrow, have it ready to post on Wednesday. But other than that, I don't know what's going to happen. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you when I see you. Have a great night.